Hey, welcome back to Your Checkup. We are the patient education podcast where we bring conversations from the doctor's office to your ears. On this podcast, we try to bring medicine closer to its patients. I'm Ed Dulesky, a family medicine resident in the Philadelphia area.
And I'm Nicola Rufo. I'm a nurse.
And we are so excited that you can be here with us again today. Please forgive us if you hear Ollie gnawing in the background on a bone.
He's making his shank.
But he is still working on getting updated on the source material. Were you guys a ShamWow family growing up?
What?
I really like to hit you with these hot takes so that you don't really have time to prepare. No ShamWows?
No, Mary wasn't. She's not into like the gimmicky things.
Okay.
She doesn't like a lot of stuff in the house.
Okay, fine. Were you guys a paper towel or towel family?
Both. I mean, they have separate purposes.
Like big catastrophic spills for a towel and then minor ones for paper towels? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're sitting here drinking Ollie Pops.
It was so random.
No, we're not sponsored at all by them. But they have some good fiber. But it brings to mind that I was called out in the office this week by one of the medical assistants that I work with. Apparently last episode we said that we don't drink soda at all, which I suppose was a falsehood.
Yeah, because you're out here in the office drinking soda.
Well, when I said soda,
diet soda,
I meant like full caloric girth.
You know, she was right to call you out. I think it's the kind of girl you want to work with, you know?
So it turns out that diet soda is soda. So I'm a liar and I do drink soda. And I don't know if you would qualify this Ollie Pop as a soda. A new kind of soda. That's what they brand it as. So that's something fun. I think it's delicious. I'm drinking a lemon lime one.
We were talking, to go back to the soda thing,
Yeah.
we were talking soda specifically its sugar content.
Right.
And then the whole sugar thing in a diet soda is another whole thing that we're not going to talk about. But people also have their opinions on that.
That's true.
My mom's like itching to tell her opinion on fake sugar.
Oh, really?
I'm sure we're going to get a comment about it.
I know. She's so interested that like she'll leave these paragraph messages and maybe we just get her on.
Yeah, we could.
We have her call in.
She's one of those people that, well, she'll like sometimes drink a diet soda, I think, but she's one of those people like I feel like are like hypersensitive to like that fake sugar taste.
Yeah.
So she's not about it.
We met the, at the party this weekend, you met the Boyces, and I believe Patty Boyce mainstreamed, that was my knee, mainstreamed Diet Coke for a while there. But I'm unsure of her current habits. But that's one Diet Coke person that I'm really aware of. You got any other Diet Coke people that you know of? We swear we're going to get talking about things soon, but
no.
We've heard that people like this initial part. So we just want to chit-chat in front of you guys. So what are we going to talk about today, Nick? Speaking of sugar and all that jazz.
Today we're talking about the obesity metabolic set point.
Yep. So we've got this little course that we're building here about obesity as a chronic disease. And we've got one episode so far about what it means and why weight is important, right? And then the next one was about
changing habits and things.
Yep. Changing habits and behaviors.
Yeah. And then the nutrition one that we just did.
And then we just did our basic balanced nutrition episode. So on this episode, what I'm hoping that we can kind of outline for you is why it's so darn hard. I don't know if damn is a word that I can include on here without making this explicit. Why it's so damn hard to lose weight. And it turns out that there's a really good reason for it. But let's set the table a little bit first.
Okay. So let's get started with a statistic because we love them. And it's estimated that by 2030, which is only 6 years away.
Wow.
Which is kind of gross.
You know.
That about 78% of Americans will be overweight or obese.
Jesus.
By that time.
Boy. Hopefully that doesn't happen. This is a projection, but that is
honestly,
harrowing.
I feel like that number is a little low. Like, honestly, I expected it to be more if it's not already there right now.
I think right now the number kind of hovers in the 40s.
Really?
Yeah, that might be for obesity. I don't have that written down right here in front of me, but I think that's what I've been reading recently. So what we're trying to highlight here on this little mini series is that obesity is a chronic disease, and it's associated with several comorbidities, or diseases that happen with another disease. And that includes cancer, sleep apnea, stroke, arthritis, liver disease, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and hypertension, all really commonly co-occur with obesity. I just wanted to reiterate those things to explain why it's important that we think about this. And so obesity has been proven to be very, very hard to manage. And there are a few different theories about why this happens. And they're mainly theories because they are so molecular and down at this very minor, tiny level that it's very hard to prove.
He's really going at his own bone right now.
He's going to have a whole shank by the end of the night.
Oh, man.
So what's the name of this theory that we're talking about today?
The set point theory. Do you want to tell us about it?
Sure. So the set point theory is based around a principle called homeostasis.
Why don't you let the people know what homeostasis is, because a lot of them may not have heard that since like their 7th grade science class.
Sure. Homeostasis is a scientific explanation of how systems in a body work together to maintain the delicate balance of life. And so when you relate homeostasis to the obesity set point theory, it explains that the human body has a predetermined weight or fat mass set point range in the environment that you're living in.
Tell us more.
So the idea behind this is that, in essence, when an individual, say they try to lose weight and they accomplish that, the body triggers appetite through increasing hunger hormones, and it decreases the metabolism or your resting metabolic rate to drive the body back to its old weight to maintain homeostasis, which is that delicate balance of systems to maintain life. What do you think about this?
What do I think about it? I mean, it's pretty interesting. It like makes sense, I think.
I feel like it's really
like
common.
When people, I mean, we all know that, you know, like to lose weight, if you lose weight like quickly, this is probably like the biggest example. Like you lose weight quickly, you're probably going to gain it back. And a lot of that has to do with like lifestyle and doing something that's like sustainable and realistic,
right?
And blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I feel like this also would play into it too.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a drastic weight change in a short amount of time.
Exactly. And about 80% of individuals eventually regain the weight that they lose. And this set point theory includes, you know, when people gain weight and losing weight, but that mechanism isn't as strong as when people lose weight and the body's desire to get back to that old weight. Evolutionarily, there was a reason for this, is that when people were, when food wasn't as abundant around, it was a survival benefit to have more fat stores, because people would live longer because you were able to maintain extra energy when there was a caloric restriction. Like, I mean, we're talking.
So we can blame the cavemen here for this one.
Yeah, blame the cavemen. So there's an understanding that various factors can change the set point, because you don't have one set point throughout your entire life, according to this theory. So there are different things, like big moments in people's lives that change the set point, including things like childbirth, menopause, aging, and an obesogenic environment, and other diseases explain how people have multiple set points in their life. I recently had someone come in who said, like, yeah, I was 220 for so many years. Her lightest was 180.
Oh,
but
I was going to say, you sound like my dad.
She said she was at 220 for so many years. And then when COVID happened, she went up to 280. And now she's at her heaviest of 300. But she said that for years she was at 220. But this kind of gets at that point that her environment changed. And maybe parts of her lifestyle became obesogenic, where then her body became accustomed to this new weight. What other, can you think of any others? Childbirth?
Childbirth specifically? You mean like after you have a baby and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't lose the baby weight?
Yeah.
Could be.
That could be a set point changing event.
Yeah. But the set point isn't like this like end all be all thing. Like, sucks for you. This is the weight that your body's pre-programmed to be at. Like, there are things you could do, right?
There are so many things you can do, and we're going to talk about them on our upcoming episodes.
But this is just more of a theory to possibly explain why losing weight could be difficult.
Yeah,
for someone.
why it's so damn hard. There's a concept called recidivism, which is the rate at which something or a behavior returns back to its old way. And so there's a lot of recidivism in weight loss. 80% of people regain the weight that they lose. And that's why weight changes from diet, control, and exercise may be short-lived if they aren't long-term lifestyle changes. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I was doing a lot of reading about this, they're calling them eating plans rather than diets, because it has to be long-term that you fight the fight. So to continue the conversation a little bit, tell us how calories and weight relate. This isn't in here. This is just, well, because it kind of gets at the point. I'm trying to get at the point that these little changes don't have to be drastic, but rather just little decisions, like a bag of chips or that soda with calories. That is the difference.
Oh. Yeah. So this is very relevant to you specifically, because Eddie just learned how to read a nutrition label.
I just completely ignored the nutrition label.
Actually, probably after we recorded the last episode, because Eddie has a predilection for the nacho or the tortilla chip.
Sue me.
Chips and salsa. The guy loves them. And so we were looking at like the specific one that he often buys, and like 7 chips was like 150 calories. And, whatever the macronutrients are after that. But he was kind of disturbed at the rate at which he eats the chips and the calories, because he definitely ate more than 7 chips each sitting.
Totally. No, I'll be the first to tell you.
Killed half the bag.
Yeah, 2 days. That's it. Yeah. 2 days. There's our intern.
There he is. Is he under me again?
I think so.
Oh, he's under in between both of us. That's so cute.
But
don't worry, Allie. We're not cutting your calories. We had to, though, because someone was giving him too many cookies.
Right. So there's another example. I was giving him so many cookies and he became a little tubby boy. And he was having a lifestyle change in the opposite direction. So all of these calories were coming up. So the point I wanted to make about the nachos, though, is that...
Oh, yeah. Back to the point.
In the 2 days that I was eating the nacho bag, I was eating essentially 100 calories over a caloric pound, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Which is, what, 3,500, right? Yeah.
Which I would do without any concern or anything like that. I actually didn't even think it was that bad.
You didn't?
No.
That didn't concern you that you ate a half a bag of tortilla chips in one sitting?
No, I just turned off the brain and just started chewing.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But that added to...
Turned off the brain.
And that's...
He went on this thing. He's like, my mindless eating and my tortilla chips.
I did. I had no idea. And then every week I would go back and get them. And there was just an extra caloric pound. And this definitely hits at the moderation thing. But right now we don't even keep them in the house because I can't control myself.
Well, I went to Trader Joe's the other day when you were at work. And I said I got salsa, and you were like, you didn't get chips? No, sorry, certainly did not.
But that was a lifestyle change. So then I've removed those, and I've noticed some changes. But they may be short-lived. I may find my way back to the tortilla chip, and I may fall back into my old ways. And if 3,500 calories is a caloric pound, what people will often say is they'll pick a number. They'll pick, if I can come up with 500 calories a day for 1 week, I'll lose a caloric pound. And
do you mean eating 500 calories less?
Eating 500 calories less
burning.
Or burning 500 more or somehow splitting that difference. But that's an old way of thinking, I think. And a lot of people will say that. You'll go to the doctor. You'll be like, how can I lose weight? And they'll do this math right in front of you. But this set point theory, I think it exists to some degree.
Yeah.
Where one reason or another.
Yeah, I don't think it's very, what am I trying to say? Like, I don't think it's very straightforward, as like calories in versus calories out.
Right.
There's like more that goes into it.
Well, because say that even like your resting metabolic rate slows down because of this set point theory, then that calorie deficit that you were either making or creating by cutting out.
I never paid attention to that until we talked about it the other night.
What, the set point theory or the...
No, the resting metabolic thing.
Yeah, so just to say, I mean, we might have said it in the past, but resting metabolic rate is the amount of calories that you burn if you were to do absolutely nothing, and that's dependent on age, sex, and baseline activity level, essentially. But with the set point theory, the thought that is that might go down, so it might change how your body reacts to food, so you might need to even eat less or exercise more. And so it's not as simple as calories in, calories out, but these lifestyle changes have to happen and they have to have longevity.
I think mine's gone up.
I think it also goes up with increase in lean mass because muscle burns more energy than fat does. So one of the things that we're trying to get home here is that in our next couple episodes, we will be talking about eating plans that you can use to center yourself on a goal of weight loss for clinical benefit, not for vanity or look's sake, but for clinical benefit, and why using medications also may be challenging, although useful and necessary, because of this theory of the obesity or metabolic set point. The references for this episode here were from another one of those Stat Pro articles, which is openly available to anyone who looks them up. Do you have any other thoughts?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming back once again for this episode of Your Checkup. Hopefully today you were able to learn something for yourself, a loved one, or
a neighbor.
And we really appreciate that you logged back in or you tuned back in to listen to us. You can visit our website or you could share us with a friend or someone else who you might think that might benefit from this. Some patients have been coming back and saying they really like it. They've been showing their aunts and they've been showing their friends. And I mean, we're so blessed that the word's getting out, and we just want to continue the fact that sometimes conversations about your health, not even sometimes, all the time, conversations about your health and wellness and disease that you go through don't just have to be limited to the doctor's office, but they can happen elsewhere. And that's what we want to be for you here on Your Checkup. If you were interested in supporting the show, you can visit our website. You might find a link or two there, or you can go online and buy us a coffee. Nikki's posture is really suffering because of the lack of a bull bar.
Oh my God.
And we really could use some help if anyone is able to give it. But we appreciate it, and we're willing to give this service for free anyway because we have a blast and it's a great time and place for us to have fun. So all of that to say, thank you for coming back. Stay healthy, my friends. And until next time, I'm Ed Dulesky.
I'm Nicole Rufo.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
This information may provide a brief overview of diagnosis, treatment, and medications. It's not exhaustive and is a tool to help you understand potential options about your health. It doesn't cover all details about conditions, treatments, or medications for a specific person. This is not medical advice or an attempt to substitute medical advice. You should contact a healthcare provider for personalized guidance based on your unique circumstances. We explicitly disclaim any liability relating to the information given or its use. This content doesn't endorse any treatments or medications for a specific patient. Always talk to your healthcare provider for complete information tailored to you. In short, I'm not your doctor.
I am not your nurse.
And make sure you go get your own checkup with your own personal doctor.